Okay, well, maybe I will start and people will join as we go. So I want to show two topics today. The first one is the Now Cloud option that we have built, because we've had several teams reaching out to us and looking for a quick way now after they tested locally. So we onboarded quite a number of teams on the Now Cloud option. So today I just want to show you like how it works, if it can be useful for you to deploy to your company. And then second thing is the new feature that we released, which is chat with Now data, which is also a feature that many people requested, and that lets you, as an admin, look at the Now activity, build stories on Now activity, and also deep dive some specific questions you would have on Now usage by your company. So let's get started with the first demo I wanted to do. I will share another tab. Okay. Yes. Okay, so to give you an overview of what Now Cloud is, Now Cloud is really just a hosted version of the open source product. So it's going to be the exact same feature you get in the open source, but we host it for you. So usually the way it happens is that maybe you have tested Now locally, you already have built your Now context. You have tested it locally, and now you want to onboard more business users to Now, but you need to wait until like the DevOps team can help you deploy internally, and you don't want that. You know, it's going to take that some time. So that's why we built Now Cloud, because from the local context you already have built, you can put it in Now Cloud so that you give access to other people in the company to what you have built and then can try it. And since we just launched Now Cloud, what we have done is that you can have 1 month of free trial. So this way you can deploy your Now through Now Cloud for a month. And then after this month, either you stay with the Now Cloud offer or you can like self-host it yourself. So that gives you a bit more time to figure out the self-hosting part before, while you're still testing Now. So I'll just send you the URL if you want to test it. It's already live in the documentation, so you can access it and sign up already. So here I'm just going to show you the flow to do that. I'm going to create another account. And yeah, when you sign up, sorry, I'm accessing people. So when you sign up, you arrive in this interface. So that's Now interface already set up. And the first thing it asks you to do is to set up a project. And this one is really simple. You just need to connect your GitHub. So I'm going to connect with my GitHub account. It's already connected in my browser, but basically you connect your GitHub account. The prerequisite is that you already have done locally the Now init of your context, of your Now context, and then you have pushed your Now context as a GitHub repository. And then once you're here, you can choose the project from your own GitHub repository. So here, this is my repository of context that I already built, and I'm just going to import the GitHub repository here. So now it has in the file explorer all of my context from the GitHub repository directly populating the context of the agent. And then I just need to add my API key. If you do have some environment variables, so for example, the credentials to your warehouse, the key for your LLM model is going to show up here. So here you just need to enter your credentials. And I'm going to fill that in. Okay, so here I put my credentials for my warehouse and my entry key. And I'm saving that. And now it should be working. Oh no, I need to configure the model as well. So here I'm just going to put my IP key. Okay. Here you can start chatting. Okay. So yeah, so here you see like it has been like just 5 minutes. And if you already have done all the work of building your now context repo, once you have done that, it's really easy to just set up your GitHub repository as a context. You just put your credentials as environment variable, and then it's ready to chat with. And this is already deployed, of course. So then you can set up for your organization that you allow some specific domain to sign up. Because when you do self-hosting, you can set Google authentication, like Google SSO on your organization. You can add the domain of your company so that everyone with the same email, with the same email domain can sign up. And it's just like it's easier for you to add members. Otherwise, you need to manually add all members here and add them to the project as well. So yeah, and then the way it works is also very easy to synchronize with your context. Here in the project settings, you can see which repository serves for your context and when it was last refreshed. And if you change your context of repository, you can just pull latest version here. So it's also very easy to get the latest version of your context directly from the cloud version. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's very straightforward to deploy it. And the goal is for you to share it easily for business users so that they can try it. It's already available. You can sign up. It's not going to ask you like any credit card or anything. For now, we have a free trial for the month. So if you already built some context and you want to share now to other people, feel free to try already on Now Cloud version. I don't know if someone has any question on that or any feedback if you tried already.
I have some questions. There, do you plan, so if we don't use the Now Cloud and if we use like locally, it will be the same product, right? There are no like different features if we are using Now Cloud or not.
Yeah. Now Cloud is really the same product as Now Open Source, and the only thing is that it hosts it for you, so you don't need to handle all the hosting. I would say also it's easier if you want to set up other bots. So for example, if you want to set up the Slack bot, it's also like a bit more straightforward because we already have a Slack bot that is pre-created. So you have to do less thing to create the Slack bot. And we already set up a lot of things like SMTP for emails and like connection to all the Slack team bots. So yeah, this part is also going to be a bit easier.
Great.
And just one point on the different features, because we also do have the enterprise license with capabilities on like SSO and rollover security, this kind of thing. This can also be present in the Now Cloud version. So yes, Daria, you had a question?
More like thinking out loud. So we use now, I think, in a very unusual way, we use it as a demo. So the main product is a pipeline and context, and then it was very convenient to offer to spin up a Docker container with Now to take a look what it actually is. But that limits the use case. Like it takes technical people who know what Docker is to experience the product. Whereas if it's hosted like this, then technically we can pitch it in even on our website, saying like, ask us to create an account and go explore it, right? This is one. And then also, I have a project that I wanted someone non-technical to do as the portfolio, basically to create a dashboard of utilization metrics for EV charging. We've covered reliability so far, so this is like a one piece, but she's again non-technical. To ask her to go spin up a demo and like even clone a repository is too much to ask, but I can give her the access to this in cloud thing, and she can chat her dashboard away because she has a domain knowledge. She's like, she understands what utilization in EV charging is. It's like she just cannot handle the technical complexity, but this actually unblocks her easily. So for us, it's a huge value proposition that might be different from your other customers, but like end users. But for us, it's just like getting our demo to a next level.
Yeah, for sure. I think the goal here is to help teams that don't have technical abilities. And when I say technical, is like deploying apps. Either they don't have the technicality or they don't have the like permissions to do it sometimes. So that would unlock them. And the only like technical constraint that remain is pushing your context on the GitHub repository and, like just having access to GitHub. But yeah, otherwise everything is done through the UI. There's no more like CLI to do. So it's lowering the barrier in terms of how to set this up. And also because I've seen a lot of companies spin up new now instances every time they needed to do a new project. Something to keep in mind is that in one organization, you can have several projects. So here, for example, I can add another like demo I think I have another now project. Where is it? Oh yeah, this one. I have another now project here, so I can also import this other repository. And then if I refresh page, now I have two different projects. And when you are in this chat first, I need to configure a model for this project, but yeah, where is it? Yeah, and then you can decide. Yeah, you can change a project, and in the same now cloud instance, the same organization, you can have different projects, and for every project, you can choose who has access to each project. So if you have several teams or several different use cases you're testing on now, you can create several projects, same org. So yeah, you don't have to maintain too many now instances.
All right. It makes sense. Another thing that is probably possible with cloud deployment that was not possible before, but I don't know if you thought about it, is, like, I don't like Tableau, but I like that they have Tableau Public. What Tableau Public gives is that I can showcase something to everyone, right? So if my now is running in cloud, and again, it's a demo project, but it can be like even, some publicly traded companies who want to share their once a quarter, their analytics. I would love to be able to expose one dashboard publicly without requiring any credentials to log into now. That would also be a huge value proposition for me because we are now blocked. Like the only way we can showcase our work is saying like, hey, create an account and we'll show you. But if we could just like share the link to the dashboard, that would be a different thing.
Yeah, that's something we thought about. Of course, you need it to be very well designed so that you don't share, so that you don't leak private data and you don't expose it in the internet. But definitely something on the roadmap to be able to share publicly a dashboard. It's just like a big warning of this is going to be available for everyone on the internet. But yeah, that would be an interesting use case. And small detail here as well is that we also are working with companies that want to embed now in their own interface. Like, for example, if you want to give a now experience to your own clients, own users, we can also do an iframe with white label of your company and embed that in your product. So that's also another way to do it if you want to give this product experience for your users. Any other questions on Now Cloud? Okay, well, so yeah, I sent you the URL where you can sign up. So feel free to try it, and if you have any questions, yeah, feel free to reach out in our Slack. And now I want to show you our other new feature, which is the ability to chat with your Now data. So maybe you've seen in terms of observability, you already have this dashboard, which is showing you a first set of metrics on Now usage and the costs, tokens. You also have chat replay if you want to look up specific conversation, and the recommendation to give you a bit of an overview of what's the content of your conversations and what you can improve in terms of context. But we wanted to give you the possibility to explore whatever you want. Sorry, got fast. Whatever you want on your Now database. And we also noticed that many of you already plug their Now app database to a warehouse to be able to analyze it. So we wanted to make it easier. So now in the admin panel on the latest version, you can go on chat with Now data, and this is going to enter you in an admin mode. So only admin of Now will be able to access it. And when you are in this interface, it's like chatting with Now, but it's going to the data set of your own internal database. So here, for example, I can ask how many users do we have here? Okay, so here it went on my internal data sets on the database to tell me how many users I have. And then you can actually create stories. So let's say you want to track specific things on Now usage, then you can create your own story to monitor that. So I say I want to create a story with weekly active users, most costly users in terms of token. That might be me. That's our own Now thing. And then top topics asked by users, let's say. Nice. Okay. So yeah, so here you can see the weekly active users. Can see also who is most costly in terms of tokens. That's not me, that's cool. And the top topics. So I don't know how it did this classification on topics, because yeah, I guess it did a sample of a conversation of. Okay, yeah, it's just took the title of every conversation and then did a bit of an inference of what the main topics were. So yeah, so you can create the story to monitor your Now usage. You can pretty much use it like any story, share it with other admins, so that you can monitor what's going on in Now usage. And that can also be useful if you want to deep dive the main topics of conversation, or if you want to deep dive some errors. Yeah, you can basically use this admin mode to do all of this analysis. Also, if you want to analyze the feedbacks, the feedbacks data is also available here. So you can pull all the feedbacks and understand a bit more the feedbacks that people give you on Now.
Hey, a quick question. Do you see a huge difference in output depends on what model you use?
You mean generally Now, or?
I can see that right now we got Sonnet 4.6 selected.
Yes. Honestly, I usually go for Sonnet 4.6 because I think it's just the right level that we need. I don't think I really need more for most analysis. So yeah, I would say like Sonnet 4.6, GPT 5.5 are good. And I would not recommend to use Opus or something else, because that's I think that's a bit overkill for analysis work, especially since now like pre-creates all this context. It gets easier even for a smaller model to just go through the context and run analysis. And we even have some users that use very small open source models like Kimi, and that get really good results as well. So I would suggest to start with this kind of habits to avoid like exploiting costs in the long term.
All right, thank you.
Any question on this chat without data thing? Okay, well, I think that's all I wanted to show you today. Maybe to give you a bit of a teaser on what's going to come next in the next weeks. I think one of our biggest priority right now is to improve a lot on the BI side, because we realized people got really used to working now and they're frustrated to still have a BI tool next to it sometimes. So we really want to ramp up on the BI capabilities so that now becomes like the one tool you have to use. So having more charts possibilities, being able to customize charts way more. We know we also have a lot of small bugs and frictions in the stories and charts. We want to improve that. And also being able to do like filters on story, to be able to have several tabs on story, this kind of thing. We really want to improve. So that's one point. I don't know if you have a question on that, Afonso, or...
No, I was just going to say exactly that about the filters, because we created some stories that we wanted to see, I don't know, some things by products, but then we were always replicating like the same charts below, and I said, and we were talking with now, is it possible to have a filter just to not have like many charts with repetitive information? Yeah, so that would be super useful.
Yeah. No, indeed, it's something that's not possible yet, and honestly, we need to. That's harder than it seems, because like when you filter on like charts, you need to understand on which table you filter, and since every chart here is like SQL based, we need to understand the SQL to put the filter. But yeah, I think it's going to be released in like the next 3 to 4 weeks, I would say. So yeah.
And one thing that we did back in January, I guess, or December, we did like a POC with Omni, and a really cool feature that they had was something quite similar to what calculation groups is in Power BI, but is, for instance, we have, I don't know, we are seeing like a table by month in the columns, but then switch. I don't want to see it by column, by month, but I wanted to see by week or by day. This type of flexibility is super, super useful. I want to see these attributes, but now I want to see another attribute. Yeah, and for instance, Omni has this by default. It's super easy to.
I think here you can already like choose what x-axis you want to have. So yeah, I guess here we would need to, when you have a datetime x-axis, be able to let you choose what is the grouping in terms of granularity, for example.
Yeah, but I agree with you. Like the part of BI, it's where.
Yeah.
Until now, I think there is a room to improve it.
Yeah. That's kind of like the feedback we've got. Like that now. I mean, we are an agent first, so I think we are one of the best agent, but we need to like catch up on the BI tool, and that's why we're going to push on that in the next weeks.
Yeah. Last week we were doing like the quarterly kickoff that we have at our company. So my team was showing the agent that we just implemented. For now, it's only on the data team, but we want to expose it to the other teams. And one of the first comments so they were quite impressed with the tool, and one of the first comments that they asked was, so this will be replacing Power BI that we currently have. Yeah, and I said, maybe in the future, not today, but yeah, maybe the tool is evolving a lot, and maybe in the mid-future.
Yeah, I think honestly our first priority was to make the agent work, but now we are at a status where people like to be now and they don't want to like switch with Power BI. So now that's why we want to ramp up on the BI side of things. So my ask for you is if you have any feature, like even the smallest feature, the smallest feedbacks on like, I don't know, like the label of these charts feel off, or I don't like the UI of this kind of thing, like don't hesitate to like post an issue or send us a message in Slack, because we really want to go into detail on how we can improve this side. So yeah, if you got any specific feedbacks, Afonso, and want to send, like feel free to send to us.
Yeah, just another comment, and maybe this not brainstorming, but like I'd like to hear your view on this. So like until now or until today, so we are used to do like the bronze layer, silver layer, and then gold. But with this type of agents, I think these type of things are in question today. So for instance, we were showing the now agent that we have, and we are pointing it to the gold layer. And then the tech team, so they are responsible for our source tables that we replicate into our data lake. Wanted to do some work on that. And obviously for them, so they are used to, or they know better than anyone, the data lake tables, because they are replications of their tables. So they would like to create agents, or like a now agent, but on top of the tables that they already know. Yeah, and obviously, if that documentation is quite good, I'm starting to feel that there is no need to have all the other layers and to simplify the pipeline. So if we have really good documentation on the source, why should we have like the different layers that we were used to have?
I mean, I think it depends on the complexity of your data model, I would say, but I would say like all the goal of having different data layers is to pre-clean and to formalize, like the rules you're going to apply to your data. So like in the gold layer, you already have applied all the pre-calculation on your metrics. So it depends how complicated these pre-calculation are. If it's just like filtering out some stuff, aggregating some stuff, then probably an agent can figure it out. But let's say if you have like 3 intermediate models that need to like, join stuff and like do complex transformation that requires like several cities, several intermediate tables, I don't think it's like useful to make the agent redo this at each step. So yeah, I would say if you have some data like that, I would suggest only plugging the agent to the top layer tables that are already cleaned. But if you have some tables that are analyzed pretty much in a raw way, then yeah, probably the agent can directly use them. And I think it also depends on who your target users are. Because if you're talking about the tech team, maybe the tech team knows the data model, it knows how the agent should query, and so it's going to be able to challenge the result of the agent. But if you just like give business users an agent plugged on your raw data, like if there's any mistake, they won't be able to change it. So I think it also depends on that.
Yeah, agree.
Um,
We're looking forward for the next
you what?
version. So we are looking forward for the next versions of now.
Yeah, we're going to release a lot of things. And so the second big topic we're going to work on is around data permissions. So for now, in the open source version, everyone has access to the same data, to the same content and context. And what we want to implement is that you can define group of users with specific rights. So for example, you can define the marketing team who has access only to marketing tables, marketing context, and same for financing, same for whatever you want to do. So this way you can scale a bit more to many teams and being sure that there's no like data leak between teams. So that's going to come during the month of July too. Cool. Do you have any other question or any feature requests on different topics than the one we covered today?
I have one, like alarms, to send a notification by email or a Teams message or Slack if a specific KPI reaches like this value, to notify like the user.
Okay.
So that would be incredible also.
Yeah, so what you can do today, you can set up automation. I don't know if you've tried automation. So the first thing we did was like a scheduled automation. So every hour you could check like on a number, for example. And now we added a new possibility to, from a webhook, trigger an automation. So yeah, you could create a webhook, but I guess in your case, it doesn't make sense because like the target should be like, I mean, the trigger should be like, did we reach this number? So I would say your use case, maybe like set up an automation that runs every hour and checks for the number. And you can prompt it to only send an email if the number is on above a certain threshold.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can already do that and send Slack, send email on this case.
Okay, thank you for the reference.
Any other question, feature requests? Nope. Cool. Well, I think we're good for today then, and we'll do the next community hours in 2 weeks. So thanks everyone for attending.
Thank you.
And
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
bye.